स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यसेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नमवुक्तिं विधेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरैषव्योतिव्याधी महारथो जायतां दोग्ध्रीधेनुः ऊढानड्वानासुः सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णुरथेष्ठाः सभेयो युवास्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो वर्षतो फलवत्यो न ओषधयः पच्यन्ताम् योगक्षेमो नः कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नमवुक्तिं विधेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् ममा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शं नो भवचक्षसा शं नो अह्ना शं भानुना शं हिमाशं घृणेन यथा शमध्वं समसद्धुरोणे तत्सूर्यद्रविणं देहि चित्रम् अस्माकं देवा उभयाय जन्मने शर्म यच्छत द्विपदे चतुष्पदे अदत्पिबदूर्जयमानमासितं तदस्मै शय्योररपोदधातना ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः So now today we have got to go with the Aruna Prashna, almost the concluding portion of that. Atha mantraha over. Now we have got the Homa mantras, and today being a very important day on Magha Suddha Purnima, and also the Patami will be peeping in, and we will have to continue Aruna Prashna, where we remember the power, influence, greatness of So we are in knowing the practical aspect of the Aruna Ketuka Agni Homa, or about Surya Bhagavan. And we are in the 90th section, and we'll continue with that. And Surya Bhagavan will be more and more happier when he is remembered, especially during the Magha Masam, Magham, and being Purnima today, we are more blessed to remember great God, because Surya is all in all. We have got Surya, Atharvana Upanishad, and so many Surya, and also in Mahanarayana Upanishad, we have reference to that, and so on. So we are in the context of knowing the creation, and so I'm just reading. Atharuna keturparishtadupadadhatu eva hi deva idi tato deva manushyaha पितरः गन्धर्वाप्सरसश्चोदतिष्ठन् सोर्ध्वादिको या विप्रुषो विपरापतन् ताभ्यो सुरारक्षागुंसि पिशाचोदतिष्ठन् तस्मात्ते पराभवन् विपृभ्यो हि समभवन् तदेशाभ्यनूक्ता. So this is how we are going the creation concluding part, that when all the quarters and respective rulers of the quarters and other gods, and also when the water was thrown up, Anjalina, then in upwards we have got several other species as they're all called Pitaraha, Devaha, Manushya, Gandharva, Apsara. All these kind of class of people were born, and there were some drops let out, and even from the drops also there came but negative people. There are Dana, Rakshasas, Pisachas, and all that, and they were defeated by the gods, and they were thrown away. So that thereby in the world there is only pure knowledge, positivity, and ritualistic performance, and more prosperity. See, Parabrahma, in the instance of creating sun god, he has given rise to many other things to fill up the emptiness in the nature, because there was plenitude of water only, Idamba Agra Saralasa, and he wanted to fill up the entire space, and he did do it. And then next we have got what he has done is he just through again some waters that we see. Apohayat bruhatir garbhamayan daksham dadhana janayanti swayambhum tadaime adhyasrujanta sarga adbhyo vaidagum samabhutu tasmaidagum sarvam brahma swayambhumiti. We have also marked that there was Swayambhu, the birth came back, that is Paramatma. See, the waters are mighty and capable of holding the embryo that has grown as its feature. Then the waters have given birth for many regions, and then there was one Swayambhu born out of that. And so, when the Swayambhu, Brahma, or Surya Bhagavan, or Arunaketuka Agni, whatever name you call, was born, then that independence is there from Brahma Swayambhu, and there's everything in the creation happened to be the total manifestation of Paramatma. And there was one divine tortoise also created, and the divine tortoise was nothing but Paramatma himself. So all things belong to Brahma, who is self. So sarvam Brahma swayambhumiti tasmadidagum sarvagum sithilamiva adhruvamiva abhavatu. So whatever that has been created from waters by Paramatma was unsteady and fickle, then he has to organize that. And whatever is brittle, whatever is liable for decay and disappearance, and resembling the nature of water. Actually, the children will be very much similar to the nature of the parents, basically. So, in same manner, the creation given in the projected in the world also had the features of the water, because water is the source where from all that. And again, so there in this world, there is always that fickleness and unsteadiness and all that. Next, we have, I've already covered, therefore, I'm just trying to skip little fast. And now the next sentence tells you, Prajapatirva vatato atmanatmanam vidhaya tadevanupravisato tad esha abhyanukta. So here, you see, there, the world creation is the manifestation of Prajapati. Prajapatirva vatato. So etat sarvam, everything is but emanating from Prajapati. Therefore, you see, observe in the Ajurveda, who is the prime god who is being respected and honored more and more, because Ajurveda is known for sacrifices, and there Prajapati is the cause. So Prajapati is important. He will be pleased. In fact, whenever sacrifice is being done completely, successfully, the final wish would be by the participants and others saying that Prajapate Prajabhavoma. Now we try to become the true children of Prajapati. And the Prajapati made the entire world to be his own self, and therefore he did not separate himself from the world and activities and species in the world. Therefore, that particular thing has been explained. And again, we see that he is present in everything of the world. And in order to ensure permanence to the jiva, he remained as a blissful form, while the body and its actions remained decaying and vanishing in the world. This is what is called, this is also to impress that Surya Bhagavan remains as blissful provider as anybody or supreme, while all the beings are born, they are born on the land, they live a life, and they depart, leaving their bodies and keeping the land free. And they are not able to take full occupancy of the land where you are born. Well, that we are seeing. That's why in Saura Suktam, we have a statement, Pasyan Janmani Surya. So Surya Bhagavan is there. You remember that sloka which we studied or to study from the that it says Vidyame Shirajasprutvaha Mimano Attobhi Pasyan Janmani Surya Saptatva Harito Rathe Vahanti Deva Surya. So Sarasuktam is almost a dialogue, a conversation with Surya Bhagavan himself. Therefore, the entire thing belonged to that Surya Bhagavan, and this has been explained. So, more so, so we have beautiful statement, further activity of Brahmadeva, saying that Vidhaya Lokan, Vidhaya Bhutani, Vidhaya Sarvaha, Pradiso Disascha, Prajapati, Prathamaja Rutasya, Atmana Atmanam Abhisambivesha iti Abhisambiveseti. This tells you uh, how is this Prajapati also is born. Because actually we have to be tracing origins, genesis, except for Paramatma, who is Aja, never born, but adjusts everything to be born and go through the life and also disappear. So he is born. Prajapati himself is born about Ruta. And what is that Ruta? Ruta itself is Paramatma, Ishvara, Narayana. And he created Lokan Vidhaya. Mainly, he has taken three words. That is Swarga, Martya, Patala, or otherwise Bhu, Prithvi, Apu, Prithvi, Antariksha, and Akasha, or heaven. So these are the three, and moreover, there are so many sub-regions, sub-lokas. Though this is said 7 lokas are there, but there are many more lokas also, regions are there, horizons are there. So Parabrahma is born out of Ruta, and he became a Swayambhu, and he prepared the three words. Then Bhutani Vidhaya. Then he created all the creatures in these three words to pick up. And then Sarvaha Pradisodisascha. So he also created the directions. We have already seen in the earlier passages how east was how east was marked. Similarly, other directions, other corner directions, all that has been mentioned here. Therefore, and ultimately, what this great God did, Prajapatihi Prathamajarutasya Atmana Atmanam Abhisambivesha. So he entered into his own self. And so his own self is so great, and the self is being projected. So this particular Taittiriya Aranyaka point is being elucidated more in detail in the Upanishads too. For example, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in Aitareya Upanishad belonging to Veda and other one belonging to Veda, it is well explained that Paramatma will not remain. He has to also have some kind of activity. Therefore, the creation, sustenance, and annihilation, these are the three important functions with which the Parameswara, dividing himself, is running the life. That's why everything is because of him. Then the activating principle in all that is the Prajapati. And Prajapati is the Mula Virat, is the Mula Chaitanya Shakti, and all that Mula Chaitanya Shakti is being available, present only in Surya Bhagavan. Because later on in Puranas, we have got so many stotras also, and even in stotras, it has been pointed out that Surya is not free, but he is being monitored, controlled, separate, energized, and projected because of other important individual deities. For example, Bhanamandala Madhyasthaye Namo Namaha, Lalita Parameswari Adishakti Swarupini is believed to be present in the Bhanumandala or solar region, and she is one who is causing all that bhasa, and she is the primordial original light, Parameswari, and that only we are able to be seeing the light in the world. So tasya bhasa idam bhati, the Kathopanishad tells that the original light provider, that is the Jyoti, Purusha Jyoti is important. So we can keep on understanding the validity, the continuation, elucidation, and further explanation of some of the ideas which are present in our earlier Vedic texts. Therefore, here it is said, Atmana Atmanam Abhisambhivesa. He entered into his own self by his own self. This is the kind of government, So, that is true to everybody, because in Prabhakargaru Upanishad, the Yajnavalkya Maharshi says, or in the Sattva Brahmana, that people love, desire, go with things because they love their own self. So they have love to their own self, and that self emanations are there around the world, in the world, from him, taken him as a source person. Therefore, you have that kind of Atmana Atmanam Sambhavesa is a very fascinating one. And it's a gateway for all the Upanishadic knowledge. And Ruta, going to be very close to Parabrahma, the identical with the cosmic law. So whoever offends Ruta, they are punishable. And in order that the Ruta could not be offended, there is what is called as the feeling of the fear, Bhisha. And Bhisha, nobody can give. Bhisha makes everybody to work like that. So Vidhaya, Rutasya, cosmic truth. Ultimately, what is that attained by Prajapati? And means here said, Sarvame Vedam Aptva Sarvamavarundhya Devanupravisati Evam Veda. So the Upanishadic and Aranyaka style is that you must know in this manner. For example, Evam Yaha Veda. So anybody who would know things are to be like that the Parabrahma is responsible, then he will be really benefited and rewarded. So ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ idam sarvam aptva. And not only to attain all that, acquire authority, and sarvam avarundhya. So avarundhya is to get established. So one has to get established in all these things that are pervading throughout in the world. So every individual has got a world of his own, world of activity of his own, and world of prosperity of his own. And therefore, all that prosperity of an individual which he goes through is nothing but one provided or graced by Prajapati himself. Therefore, Tadevanu Pravisati. He made all to get into that area of his own control. So Prajapati created the beings, that Ishvara created the beings, and he entered into all of them, and he became the ruler of all beings' lifestyles and life schemes and all that. So that's exactly. So one should know that. So there won't be any kind of dismay or difference or anything like remorse. So anyone who understands, Evam Veda means anyone who understands the formulation of the creation in the manner said above, then he would realize the world to be different from the Parabrahman. But when once you are further understanding, one could understand that the world is not different from Parabrahman. So all that, so avarundhya anupravisati are the important verbs that we should know. So tadeva anuprasati, the same principle, that is the Parabrahma, anupravisati, repeatedly enters into beings. So that is the creation part is being revealed to us. It's one of the important theories. And this is all the creation of the Brahma. And in that creation, we got tortoise, the quarters and the corners of the quarters. The deities like Pushan, Agni, Indra, and all of them have been created. Now, thereby the creation part is over. And next onwards, we have got another section which we are going to face, where you find different subject matter. That is Chatushtaya apo gృహ్ణాతి चत्वारि वा अपागुं रूपाणि मेघो विद्युतो स्तनयित्नुर्वृष्टिः तान्येवावरुन्धे. Then आतपति वर्ष्या गृह्णाति ता पुरस्तादुपदधाति एता वै ब्रह्मवर्चस्या आपः मुखत एव ब्रह्मवर्चसमवरुन्धे तस्मान्मुखतो ब्रह्मवर्चसितरः. So now the idea is apaha grunhati. He is going to take the water onto hand. And now it is said, Chatushtaya apo grunhati chatvari vapagum rupani. So there are four forms of water. How are we getting the water? How are we getting the formulation of water upon the earth? It is said here that Megha Vidyutu Sthanayitnuhu Vrishtihi. So Megha is the cloud, Vidyut is the lightning, and Sthanayitnu is rumbling, Vrishti is the rain. So Tanyeva Varundhe. And thus the cloud formation takes place. And Kalidasa, as I pointed out earlier, says that Dhuma, Jyoti, Salila, Maruta. There also four things are there. Dhuma is Megham, Jyoti Vidyut, and Dhuma, Jyoti, and Anila is Tanayitnu, and Vrishti, the rain, water. So whoever tells about the composition of the cloud, these four factors have got to be marked, and these four together will form a cloud, and ultimately through the cloud we get the rain. That's why Tanyeva avarundhe, and we have only tried to know it. Then a question comes up. How can that water be framed or formed in the sky, and how is it possible? Then you have the thing Atapati Varshya Grannhadi. आतपति वर्ष्या गृह्णाति ताः पुरस्तात् उपदधाति एता वै ब्रह्मवर्चस्या आपः मुखत एव ब्रह्मवर्चसमवरुन्धे तस्मान्मुखतो ब्रह्मवर्चसतरः. So last time when we just come to explain, we have stopped at this point to continue. So I'm now continuing here that Varshya Atapati Grunhati. So he is that Surya Bhagavan or Ishvara is taking the waters from the rain at the places of high heat. Where high heat is, say for example, there is not common harmonious atmosphere in several bhubhagas of the world. Every bhubhaga has got some geographical meteorological difference, as we are seeing. Now all people in America, in this, all are having cold and snow and rain and wind and all that. But in India, this morning somebody told me, sir, sun is becoming a little hot, and we are using the fans and all that. So that kind of weather conditions change also is there. But because of that kind of things, but here in America, elsewhere, probably it comes in the form of snow, and snow becomes the water. And in summer, you will just drop that. Snow is the most important part in this western places. That only goes as a water to the, because snow gets melt into water. So Paramatma is a wonderful architect, and he has got designs and designs and designs. It is very hard for anybody to unravel, to detect, and also describe the Paramatma's ways of management. But still, there are ways given to manage or sustain the world. So Atapati Varshya Grunhati. So Atapa and sunshine. So through that sunshine, through the heat of it is going to, and therefore, what is by nature water? That he is a Brahmavarchasi apaha. Brahmavarchasya apaha. The waters derived from rain contain a high brilliance. Brahmavarchas means brilliance. Brahmavarchas means highest brilliance. And therefore, water is some many times compared to the mercury also, though crystal clear. For example, when you see the water drops settled on a lotus leaf, how bright they look. It is not vajram or any other pearl or anything like that, but they're all water drops only, but it gives a different impression to everybody. That's why the waters are Brahmavarchasi, that they have got highest brilliance. And again, Mukhatayeva Brahmavarchasamavarundhe. So because of that kind of high brilliance, so you observe the brilliance of the individual of those waters. You will see that in the face of people. Rather, here Mukhataha means eastern direction. Everything is gaining more and more power and brilliance right from the eastern direction, and all that power is being deposited there itself. Therefore, Brahmavarchasam avarandhe tasman mukhato Brahmavarchasi taraha. So that's why the power of memory goes to the student when he is performing Agnihotra facing towards the east. So that's why whenever we prepare a Vedi, Agnavedi, facing towards the east, the Yajamana will sit and offer ghee or some such important item as a matter of fact. That's why it is said Vedadhyayana or yoga or Agnihotra or yajna, any and every religious activity is preferably turning towards the east or facing towards the east and performing. So here it is reasoned out why at all the east is being chosen for performance or for facing that. And even astrologers and Vastu say that best if you keep your head towards this east when you go to sleep. And then they prefer also south, but never north, and sometimes they are silent about the west. So, but best is the only east. And here also it is said, the Brahmavarchasam avarundhe. So whenever you do activity turning towards the east, then it is a source of prosperity, happiness, and comfort and peace. And that is the application of, and also, moreover, here we are being given the source for application of the waters. The passage and the following ones talk about the sources of water and directions of the application of waters. That's also important. When you get to something, the Viniyoga is important, where I should employ. So wherever there is slope, if you put water, you need not do any other arrangement. It will automatically get connected. Therefore, Brahmavarchasam avarundhe. Tasman mukhato Brahmavarchasi taraha. The tara, tama is compared to degree, and in Sanskrit we have got only 2 degrees of comparison. We don't have, like in English, 3. So the past, and that's what I think I understood all. Atapati is sunshine, and Upadadhati means to deposit it by reciting the mantras. Brahmavarchas, the power of brilliance. which Surya Bhagavan basically has it at all times. There is no death in him. And Surya, whenever is found on this horizon, there is plenitude of light. And moreover, even Surya also undergoes two phases. So during the Dakshinayana, he becomes dull, 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 and darkness is extra. But in Uttarayanam, the brightness and heat, etc., in Surya Bhagavan rises, and that kind of growth and change is of more importance. And moreover, when you think that Brahmavarchasya, when you think of that Brahmavarchasi Taraha, that Tara, it only says that the passage and the following explains the causes of that hinted the waters are basically of great brilliance. The face of waters themselves appeared quite bright and brilliant. And the expressions give us also the medicinal property importance of rainwater too. And therefore, the Vedic student, whoever makes upasana of Surya Bhagavan and utters various Veda mantras, he will have the brilliance, the reflections of Surya's influence of brilliance found in the deposited in the face of that. So, Brahmavarchasi Mukhataha. Where do you locate Brahmavarchas in a man? In the face or woman. Even in woman, that kind of kala. So, Muttayade kala and Purusha kala. That kala or brilliance is to be signed that. And so then with that kind of brilliance, the Vedic students will start reciting the Veda mantras. That's one aspect. Now we go to the next section, next topic, that is, how are you going to gather water? What are the water sources? There are a number of sources actually in Somayaga mantras of Yajurveda. We get to know that there are 17 sources of water. That is like the waterfalls, like rivers, ponds, and all that, ocean and all that. So all that 17 kinds of waters are being brought out, especially to make Samraja Pattabhisheka to the god. So here you see, observe, Kupya Grunhati Ta Dakshina Taupadadhati Eta Vai Tejasvini Rapaha Teja Evasya Dakshinato Dadhati Tasmad Dakshinogra Tejasvitaraha. So this is how action begins. The one is Kopya Grunhati. He picks up water from the well. And Apadadati Etata Dakshinata Padadati. So these waters are potential enough, since always used for domestic needs. The sprinkles that water to the south of the venue of the sacrifice. Therefore, the ground around the south of the Yagnasthana would be quite potential Tejaswini, because we have that kind of arrangement of the atmosphere in the so in the houses are high Yagnashala and all that. Therefore, the southern part of a person in a body is very strong. Comparatively, the southern part means the left part is stronger, because that is the place where there is the heart in that. So that is the potential one. Tejasvinirapaha teja evasya dakshinato dadhati tasmat dakshinogra samjatsvirat tejasvitaraha. So this is an important thing. So he picks up water from the well, then he goes to, afterwards, he will go to the potential place, Tejaswini. Amma waters are not only Tejorasi, but also she is also known as Tejaswini. So you observe so much of compliments being given to the general subject, the 5 vital airs. Therefore, the southern part of the person, the body is very strong. The reasoning that out of, namely, the part of person, anybody, no, the reasoning out is that Dakshinamurti, that Dakshinato Tejasvitara is remarkable observation. Here, the importance is being shown. Tasmat Dakshinato dadhati Dakshitasma Dakshinoghna Edasvitaraha. See, the southern part of a person in body is very strong. The reasoning is Dakshinato Tejasvitaraha is a remarkable observation. So even the heart, lung, blood pressure, and all that, and left brain, right brain, and when we take this clue that Teja eva asya dakshinato dadhati is a kind of subhashita. In the human body, the left side is important because sometimes people get a paralytic attack or some kind of physical problem on the left side. And heart also is not the left side. So the left is Tejaswini. That will be quite potential, and that will be the Yajnashala. So that's why Dakshinamurti also is there. We have got that Lord Rudra, who is Dakshinamurti. He is with Jnanamurti. And so we have got so much of Dakshinamurti Stotram. And Dakshina is left. And even when you do some exercise, you begin with left, right, left, right, left, right. That's how we go alike. So, Indukunte Tejaswini, one simple word in Sanskrit is good enough to give us extensive analysis of meaning and understanding and all that. The waters in the wells would be strong because the same well waters is used for domestic needs. If such well water is sprinkled to the south side of the venue of the sacrifice with mantra thus recited, then that area turns stronger. Therefore, the south or right side of the portion of any man would be strong and auspicious compared to the other. This is the sacrificial reason. So, for this kind of arrangement of is the left side. Right is good and auspicious. So we just make a distinction between right and sometimes also it is said that if you want to measure the BP of your body, then they take to left hand side. Maybe it could be right hand because right hand also reads but less than what left hand reads. Therefore, we have got left hand, leftists and rightists and so on. So anyway, as we imagine that Kupya, the well which has got good spring, if the water is taken out from that with mantra, then the Agni at the right side is called as Dakshinagni. And a sacrificial fire supposed to be quite potential. So Dakshinagni or that, and even Agni is Ahavanayagni, Dakshinagni. So we have got many attributes characterizing the Agni at all. Then here we have got some sources in the Aruna Prashna at the end. We have some sources of water where from the water has been picked up, and with that water some Vinyoga and Prayoga is being done, and therefore it is really knowledgeable point when we study Aruna Prashna to know the nature of the water. In fact, I thought to prepare or ask anybody to prepare a good article, focusing on the description of the water, the importance of water, the application of water, and the source of water, and how the Paramatma is the monitor or different sources, small, big, bigger, and biggest. So these are all the water sources. In fact, as we noted, 17 sources of water, therefrom the water is being collected, and with that water, the king is to be coronated. Maha Samraja Pattabhisheka is being done like that. So Agni at the right side is called Dakshinagni, and fulfill the wishes of a sacrificer. So right is good and auspicious. Then finally, we have got a beautiful expression, another source of water, and where from the water is being grabbed by or grasped by Surya Bhagavan. That is being explained in the next Anuvaka. That is Thavara Grunhati Taha Paschadupadadhati Upadadhati Pratishtha Vaisthavaraha Paschadeva Pratitishthati. So the water in general is spoken in the earlier passage. Now, individualistically, the water is being collected, and the person who collects it, that water from that source, and he experiences a difference of in dream, and that will be also explained by that. So now the mantra goes like this: Thavaraha गृह्णाति ताः पुरस्तात् पश्चात् उपदधाति प्रतिष्ठिता वै स्थावराः पञ्चादेव पश्चादेव प्रतिष्ठति. So ultimately what you want is, you want to have the pratishtha or maintenance and all that. And so you see all round importance being given to the water, the power of the water, and water as such is but organized or monitored by the Paramatma Yoga Nidra. So I think Stavara Grunhati Ta Pasvam Ta Paschat Upadadhati Pratishtita Vai Stavaraha Yetan Deva Pratitishthati. Then we got Vahanti Grunhati. So Stavara Grunhati, one, and next one is called Sravanti Grunhati, is another. So Sravanti Grunhati means people sit on the shore of a river or samudram, and they dig and see that the water flows into that pit, and then they make some kind of arrangements, and worship keeps going. So today I'll complete here. Up to then we have come, and we'll continue in the next class. All that. Om Swasti Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.